My skincare journey tag, created by Dawn from the channel Dawn's Life Over 40. Stay tuned. My skincare journey tag. This tag was created by Dawn from the channel Dawn's Life Over 40. And she tagged me, and I'm so thankful. Thank you, Dawn. Dawn has a wonderful channel. She's a beautiful girl, and she's a registered nurse, so she really knows her stuff. She knows a lot about skin care, skin health, health in general, and she has beautiful skin, so you definitely want to go check out her channel. I'll have it linked below. All right, so my skincare journey. Well, mine is pretty much non-existent. I did not start skincare of any kind until I was 68 years old. That's been, well, it was January of last year, so it's been about a year and a half. And I started it because I started watching YouTube. And that put me on the journey. And I've mentioned many times before, I came across Mary Ellen Over 60 back then when I first started watching YouTube. And she had the most beautiful skin. And so I listened to every word she said. And what she used, then I got. So that was the Timeless. So anyhow, let me take you back to the beginning. First of all, we came from a small town. We always lived in small towns. And we weren't near any big cities. So we didn't have the exposure. There were no like department stores that you could go in and maybe you would see an ad or a picture or a makeup counter that sold skincare. It just didn't exist for us. So we weren't exposed to it. We didn't have magazines. I don't even know what magazines were popular back then, but we didn't have magazines in the house. So we didn't learn it from there. We went to Catholic schools and we were raised very strict Roman Catholic. Now, I'm not saying every Catholic were raised like we were, but it was very strict. And your focus in life was to go to the convent, to be called to the convent, to become a nun. And anything about your face, looking at it or even wearing makeup and all those things, that was vanity. You looked in the mirror and you looked at yourself, that was vanity. And that was sinful. Now, of course, we had the nuns back then, and that had the habits that, covered practically their whole face. Just their eyes, nose, and lips showed, and then the big veil and everything. So it wasn't about looking at your skin. It just was not a part of our life because of how we lived. And so I never thought about it. Now, I called my sister yesterday just to clarify some things in case there's something I'm forgetting. But she verified all my thoughts and what I know. Now, she's 3 years older than me, and she was different. She was outgoing, and she had a large group of friends. I was not outgoing, and I had very few friends. So my sister learned a little bit, not much, but a little bit. And she didn't wear makeup or anything either, but she had oily skin, she told me. I had, I guess, normal skin. And so from her high school friends, by then we were in public schools in high school, from her high school friends, she learned about Noxzema and Seabreeze. She babysat, so she had her own money. So not much, but a little. So she did buy some Noxzema and Seabreeze, she told me. I never saw it. She probably hid it from me. But anyhow, she would use that occasionally. And that was it. She told me she once bought one 16 magazine. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers the magazine called 16, but I never saw it. If she bought one, she hid it, she kept it to herself. And so, she learned about a few things in there. So that's my background and why skincare was never a part of my growing up years or high school years or even early 20s. And in addition to that, my mother didn't have skincare anywhere. She didn't use it. It wasn't on the vanity in the bathroom. It wasn't on her vanity in her bedroom. So we never saw to even ask a question, and she never mentioned anything about skin. The only thing we did was wash our face. It was about being clean. Keep your face clean. So we washed our face, and that was it. So I got married young at 18, and I continued along that path. No skincare at all. And then when I got in my late 20s, I went through a very stressful period of time. I was getting a divorce from my first husband. I was leaving him and going on my own, and I had 3 children. I was 18 when I got married. I had no education past high school, and so therefore it was rough. It was really rough on me. I was very stressed out. And that's a whole different story. Let me stick to the skincare. So then I started getting cysts. Now they might be called sebaceous cysts. I'm not real sure. So I never suffered like with acne and breakouts and things like that. But I got cysts and they were really big and really painful. And when I got them, there was nothing you could do. I didn't know what to do with it. And they're kind of under the skin, and then they'll come out and show a lump. But mine were really big. So I went to a dermatologist in my late 20s, and he said it was a cyst. I had one at that time. And he injected it with something. I think it might be called Kenalog. I'm not real sure. But they inject it and it takes the cyst down. So then I kept getting them. And I had to keep going back and getting these injections every time I got one. I ended up getting one that was so large, so bad, I don't know if it's on this side or this side. I can't remember. It's this side. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but I have a scar that starts here and goes down to here. I don't know if you can see it. But what happened was he injected that cyst so many times it would not go away. Finally, he said it would have to be surgically removed. So thankfully he sent me to a plastic surgeon because it was on the face and it would require a lot of stitches. So I was cut from here to here. That's a long incision for a cyst. But I guess they had to get way down deep in there. And I think he did a great job. The scar is noticeable to me, but maybe not to you. And after that, he put a wick in it. So it left, there was a little hole and it had like a little string, like a candle wick, to keep that open, to drain and drain and drain. It was such a long process. That was the worst, most painful cyst I had. And I had more. I had other ones, but usually the injections would take them down. Now, back then, dermatologists did not believe that stress had anything to do with cyst or maybe any kind of skin condition. He just said, well, it must be hereditary. I don't know why, but that's what he came up with. But of course now we know that stress is very much related to skin and skin issues. And I was very stressed. due to everything that was going on in my life at the time. So I kept getting these cysts. He kept injecting them. And then he put me on Retin A. Well, again, back then, that was in my late 20s. I'm 69 now, so that was a long time ago. I don't know that they knew that Retin A was an anti-aging thing, but he felt that would help. So I put that Retin A on, used that for a while, maybe, I don't know, 6 months or so, and I was still getting the cyst. So he took me off that and he put me on something called Accutane. Now, I'm not familiar with, I didn't research it to see exactly what that means right now, but it's a very powerful drug. In fact, you have to get your blood tested once a month because it can affect, I think, the liver. So you had to go in and get your blood drawn every month while you were on Accutane. I believe I was on it it was a 6-month course. About a year and a half later, he put me on a second round of Accutane again because I was still getting cysts. And then I had a third round. So I had 3 rounds of Accutane. And from what I hear now, that's a pretty dangerous drug. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a dermatologist or a nurse or anything. But that's how bad those cysts were. Now, I'm not saying I got them all over. I was covered in them. It could be one at a time. But as soon as he would inject one and get one down, another one would show up somewhere else on my face. So that's pretty much my life. And then around maybe mid-30s, late 30s, that stopped happening. I might occasionally get one, but it wasn't frequent. And so that was it. Then I just washed my face every night with whatever soap we had, just any bar soap, nothing special, and nothing else. There was no moisturizer, there was no serums, there was no nothing. You just washed your face. That was it. And that's how I stayed until I started watching YouTube January a year ago. And that's when I learned a lot of things. And that's when things changed for me. So I started getting, CeraVe, the hydrating face wash. I didn't use just any old bar soap. I got the CeraVe moisturizer. I used that. And then, due to Mary Ellen and her advice on her channel, I then went into the vitamin C from Timeless, also their CoQ10, and their Matrixyl Synth 6. So I used those. So that was the beginning of my skincare journey. It was so exciting to me. I mean, I couldn't believe the difference. I kept staring in the mirror, and I'd use my magnifying mirror, and I would look and see if I saw any changes. And I did, over time. And the texture got nicer. I wasn't as dull. My skin looked brighter. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. That I went all these years and never did anything. Not even just a face wash that's specific just for your face. I just used the soap I washed my body in. And it was just amazing to me. I have loved my skincare journey from age 68 to current. And I've tried other things. I now use other things. I won't go into that because that's not what the tag is about. It's about your journey. Now, also in this last year, I went and saw a dermatologist here. She then hooked me up with her esthetician there. I've gotten one facial, And then I wanted to do microneedling because Mary Ellen did it. And other people on YouTube, and they all did it at home. I was petrified to do something like that. I didn't have enough knowledge. I didn't know my own skin. I was so new to all this, and I was so late to the game. So I was petrified. So I had told Mary Ellen that I was going to get it, but I was going to go to an esthetician. I was not going to do it myself. So I went to the esthetician. She did microneedling on me. This would have been last, I think, September. Yeah, I think it was September. And it was wonderful. She did something called RF microneedling. It was with radio frequency. Again, I don't know what any of this stuff means, but I think it just penetrates very deep to get your collagen to reactivate and things like that. I didn't ask any questions. I just wanted it done. And I loved it. And I do want to do that again. I will do that again. I don't know when, maybe this fall. But I definitely want to do that again. And I don't do Botox or any of those things, fillers, Botox. It's too late for me. Because I never did skincare, I didn't wear sunscreen, I was a sun bather, a sun worshiper all my life. My whole family loves the sun. And I didn't protect myself in any way. I would put like baby oil on when I was young to get a better, deeper tan. And then when I got older, I would use the dark tanning oil with an SPF of 4 because I wanted to get as dark as I could. I should have so much damage on my skin, and I thank God that I don't, because I should be covered in it. And so, oh gosh, now I lost my train of thought. But anyhow, so there's that. And then, I was talking about the Botox and all that stuff. I asked the dermatologist if I could get that, especially for these 11s. I don't know how well they show up on camera. I'll squint my eyes and you can see how deep they are. Can you see that? I probably look funny. They're very, very deep. And because of that, Botox wouldn't do anything. These are set in lines. They're not fine lines. They're deep, deep wrinkles. And so they're going to show. Botox would not help me. And I don't think it's something you could get filled. If I could, I guess she would have told me that. So I'm just stuck with these 11s. It's too late. I waited too long. I guess you're supposed to do that when they first start to form. But I've always been a squinter, and I make a lot of expressions, and these 11s are very deep. So can't do anything about that. But I will continue with facials. I'm going to get the microneedling again. And anything else they think I should do. I'd love to have a peel. Just those kind of things. Nothing shot in me or needles and stuff injecting things in me, but any other type of treatments. And I would rather them do them than me, because I'm not comfortable. And sometime last year, I put myself on Differin. Differin is sold over the counter. It's like a Retin-A, but they used to say it didn't have anything to do with anti-aging, but now they're saying it does. Anyhow, you can buy it over the counter, so I bought some. I tried it. I used it for maybe 6 months or 5 months, and it didn't bother me at all, and that's at a 0.1% strength. And I had no effects from it, so when I did go to the dermatologist at the end of May, I asked her for Retin-A, and she gave it to me. She gave me a prescription for it. So I'm now on Retin-A at 0.1%. Yeah. And so that hasn't been that long, 6, 7 weeks or whatever. But I'm not having any issues with it. It's not, drying me out, irritating me. I don't have flakes and everything. I don't know why, because they say everybody does, but maybe they're coming and I just don't know it yet. So anyhow, I am on Retin-A now. I really enjoyed doing this tag and taking a trip down memory lane and just seeing how far I've come. I went from nothing, and now I'm just elated with what I'm doing. So I'm going to tag somebody, and it's my sweet soul sister, Wendy, from the channel My Life Wendy, because Wendy has gorgeous skin. She knows a lot about skincare as well, and I love all the different products she uses. So Wendy, tag your it. So that is my skincare journey. I know it's different than most people's, but it is what it is, and I'm just so grateful that I discovered YouTube. I know at 68, it's pretty late to just be finding out about YouTube and watching a video, but I'm so grateful that I did. I've learned so much. And I'm just loving this journey, and I'm going to continue on it. So now it's time for me to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip today is also on a journey, and this is the journey of life and faith. For me, they are intertwined. We have doubts throughout our life, and with those doubts, all we see is obstacles. And that's part of life. But faith helps us to see the way. It shows us the way. So that's critical. That is very important. And life is just a time of self-discovery all throughout your life in many ways, but most definitely in our faith. And when we take a journey, say for example, we take a journey, we're traveling and we're in a car. We need a map. We use a map or a GPS to guide us as to where we're going. Well, with faith, you use the Bible, the words of the Bible. That's your guide for that journey. And just like, say, the air we breathe, the oxygen in the air, that nourishes our bodies. But faith nourishes our heart and soul. So I just wanted to share that journey with you. And I pray that you have a wonderful journey, that you've had a wonderful journey, and that you continue on your journey. I thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. So until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.